The Deep Talk.
All right, welcome back, Ochali Ku Galaxy TV. The show is The Deep Talk. I'm still sitting in for Mr. Henry. Navagambi Unakolwaliro. I have a special guest in the building. I have a trainer, actually Arthur. So kombulire ku bintu by'okozeeko n'ebyokyayagala okukola because emirimu okoze mingi. Wali mu MTN, obadde comedian, oli ku radio. Mirimu ki emirala gye wakolako gye tutamanyi?
Emirimu nno sikoze mingi. By the sikoze mingi.
Emirimu izo kuba okoze mingi.
No. I believe what I did was I started by doing sales and marketing. And then kokola stand-up comedy. Nenzira mu media. And then I started business. Yeah, basically. But when you start business, you especially go start or call byonna. Overhead of marketing, supplies chain, logistics, your human resource.
Yeah.
You end up doing everything in your business. And because of that, you're better interpreted as the person that does everything.
Okay.
So when I went into business, I ended up doing quite a lot of things, especially in the Dalangoli starter. Yeah, because what we have capital. Bweba ito omuntu akola kino gwajja. Bweba invoice gwazwereza. So you tend to become a jack of all trades. So because of that, because when I joined business, I became a jack of all trades.
Talking about business, because I know for a fact nti wavangawo ku radio ku Galaxy FM novaawo for quite some time omwaka nga gumu emyezi nga gijo nomala n'okomawo ndowooza zaalinga homecoming nti Arthur waffe akomyewo. What usually took you away from radio and then brought you back okukola ebintu bino and business and balancing it?
So bwe nali nva ku radio
omulundi
ogwasooka bwe nali nkola show eyo actually I later realized I like radio. Nali njagala radio. But that particular subject matter sijagala.
Love and relationships.
Yes.
Nga lwaki tokyagala?
One, it wasn't something I really enjoyed so much. You see, eno show jagambye ebintu bya love ezo shows era Otis Mzemba Sasira. Those shows are very draining mentally.
Yeah.
One, I would listen to people's problems and they were too big. There is somebody who would call me, nga ine ekizibu nga kyonna nakyosobola mukolera. And then you go home and you're carrying them in your head. Waliwo omuwala lumu yakuba essimu ku show, ku radio. And she was oba somewhere nga bamufumbiza emukono eyo. Mukyalo. Ngagamba ndina omusajja waakomerawo wano agenda kunkuba era n'amanya n'agaba naye munyambe. But then mukumuyamba oba yasawo n'embeera egamba naye ate bwe munzija simanyi we ngenda tandikira. And I'm like, what do we do? Do we call police? The mother took her there. Like, it was a hard situation. And then you go home and you're carrying this. So one, the show required a lot of emotional, we needed emotional support. Ekyokubiri, I was struggling with relationships myself.
Okay.
Ng'okeera ku makya ng'olina ebizibu mu relationship.
Nga demu yabikoze.
Like you fail to manage your relationship yourself. Tekuzitoyeko ngekuchankalanyiza. But you have to go back tomorrow and sit in the seat and say, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to make her feel good, give her some flowers. And you're not giving flowers. So ng'oli mu show naye ng'olimba.
I can relate.
Yes, you're literally lying. But you're helping somebody live a better life. So that became a bit hard for me, to carry. Ekirala nga mpulira kino si kyenyina okuba nga nkola.
You were not true to yourself.
Yes, I felt like there was something more in me. I nabanga mu show ya love, but I spoke less love. Nayogeranga nnyo history. I spoke more history. I spoke more things I've researched.
More lifestyle.
Yes, I spoke more life-related stuff. And I'm like, yes, nyiza okuba ndi mweno show. But ndabika wano si wenyina okuba. I felt like I should be somewhere else. I wanted to maybe talk to people. I interview people abali mu bintu mu level, yes, I wanted to talk business. I wanted those things. Nga mpulira wano tewamala. So that's why I felt like no. Nyiza okuba kino nkikola. People might think I'm good, but I didn't feel comfortable with your position. So the first time I left Galaxy is because of that. I felt like that wasn't my thing. But also when I left after that year, of course you miss already a bit. you feel like maybe I should do it again. Maybe
You're reminiscing. Maybe
yeah,
nchiddemu.
yeah, ngaba nchiddemuko, and then also like maybe over. So that's when I receive a call of like, can you come back? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. But then when I come back on radio Mulundi Ogoku with that, then it became very clear that I didn't want it.
Ebiseera singa bagamba budda addingana mawulu
Tagajja mukoto, but when I did it again, nategeera exactly that I didn't love radio. I loved radio. I loved
it was
media,
clear to you, yeah.
but it was clear I didn't love that particular part. Okwogera ku love, sex and relationships. Nga nsobola obeera mu show n'okuba essimu nga I'm pissed.
Personally ngoine ekintu ekyakunyiza.
No, see personally, but you call me, somebody calls you of like Jebaleko Sebo, ogamba otya kati nyiragaayo ono mwagala naye ate ankuba ebikonde, you know, talina kyankolera, and I'm like, are you stupid? What are you doing there?
Naye nga tosobola mugamba ekyo.
And then she's like, you know, I love him, and like, ani akusibiddeyo? Like I would get angry, you know, and I'm like, no, this is not what I'm supposed to do. So, and at that moment, I remember it was around March. Ningamba, I need help. I need to talk to somebody to guide me on what to do.
Wali weetaagayo athawo.
I needed somebody to guide me. So that is the first time I look for somebody to talk to. That's when I found a coach.
Who was that?
I talked to a guy by Mr. Ethan Mussolini. So I called him up. I pitched him. I was pitching business. But I also needed to talk to him. Kwa nali mulabeko ku NTV. So I go to this guy, njogera naye, ambuza ebibuzo byali bingi nnyo. And I didn't have answers to the basic questions of life.
Bibuzo ngaki?
Yambuza ki kyoyagala okubeera. What do you want to be? I didn't know. Nambuza, do you see yourself doing what you do the next 10 years? Namugamba, nambuza, then what are you doing it? Like byali bibuzo bitono nnyo, nambuza oyina vision, oyina plan. Weeraba wa, like, so the more ambikula bwati, I was like, oh, hold on. Bwe mba kuba akafaananyi nga ndi musajja addukanya business, ndi conferences, then why am I here? Okitegeera? So when we had that discussion, naddayo eka nga nyina ebibuuzo bingi, I was like, okay, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And I think around March, that's when I communicate and say I will be leaving, but I would want to leave in a better way. Nandiyagadde naddako, I would want to talk to that person. I'd want to know who's coming back to this show, and I would want you guys to do for me. You know, I would want to really live in a good way. A smooth transition. So that is the time now. I discover myself. I'm like, oh, kino kye nnina okukola. So when Vaku Radio around March, then I went into a journey of self-improvement and personal growth. Kati njagala okwezuula. I'm like, nkoze ebintu bingi mu bulamu. But who am I exactly? Nzani. Biki byensobola, biki byennyumirwa. Now that's when I started a journey of self-improvement and personal growth. Kati mweyo phase eyo. Remember, I was coached by somebody. But I'd also started a business.
What business yali yache?
Vector Events. It was a team building company. So the company does team building. But when you're doing team building, people still call you to do coachings. They call you to do trainings. So my company was doing team buildings and trainings. So between that, the company was there. We're going to what anchor business say yo, you know, you'll become the trainer, you'll become the facilitator, you'll become, you know, I was doing quite a lot in that. So in that process, I'm like, now let me try to find myself. What do I really want? So that is when I started self-improvement journey. That's when I begin saying, okay, mission yakwetegeera. Started working out, focusing on I started being intentional. I wanted to settle, wanted to find love, start a family. That was now the transition kati ya awo. So mufeza. I started doing quite things to understand teaching njagala siche sagala. Nintandika no sharing byenzize njiga mu lugendo. Yeah,
because most people actually kankuzeyo ko katone mabega. Most people, for all the time that you did the radio show, never knew how you looked like.
Yes.
simanyi ba kino kyakukosaamu mu ngeri gye wali okola mu business oba n'okuba nti omuntu bw'oba weintroduce nti nze Arthur ayinza okusika eddoboozi aga oba gwe Arthur the vaccine kyakusumbuwamuko ng'oyingira journey ya business and self discovery?
No, actually the idea of not being known kyajjanga nali nkyagala nnyo nga bwe gambye nti bwe nali mu show it wasn't my thing. So nga era bwe kamera bwejja I would run away first because I didn't feel like I wanted to be a celebrity. I wanted to be that voice. I didn't want to be seen because behind the camera wansanga nkola business yange.
Olinga ku computer nkola bintu
nali ba computer nkola bintu byange, nkola team building mu kaseera business awo nengola n'ebintu ebirala by'okupangisa bi bouncing castle nabiyina byalinga bingi. So nga ndaba ogenda kunsanga eno nga ndi celeb nga tenyina otwala bouncing castle nzipangisa.
ofate board ogenda.
Mfate boda. Naye akamalo kakange nga kajjude ebintu nga you know ng'omuyiribi yenna nga sobola kubeera smart mbeera mu jeans zange ebigatto byange buutu plus abantu okummanya ennyo kyammalangako emirembe even as I speak now. Yes, being known so much makes me a bit quite uncomfortable. Yes, and when I see cameras and every time you host me on your show nkugambirawo bwe mbaamu kamera tewali teguggwa. Yeah, because you see media ine ekizibu kimu Otis. Kino ngenda kigamba abantu abasinga tebakola nga Roger Otis the love surgeon. Kizibu nnyo okuddamu okukwata obagambe kati si love surgeon. Kati ndi kirala. It requires you to come and communicate again and tell them bampita Otis sikyali love surgeon kati ndi kino. But once you go on media they begin defining you. Toyina chance kola birala. Yet when you are doing things behind the scenes you're able to exploit yourself, you know. Mbadde mujane y'okwezuula and I want to tell you si muto si mukulu abantu bangi even at the age of 50 they haven't discovered who they are. People haven't discovered kiki baagala, their passions, their desires. Abantu bali mirimu gye batayagala. And in that phase of trying to find who you are, trying to find purpose yo mu bulamu, okola ebintu bingi tuyagala kubeera defined by that one thing because abantu abalala tebategeera nti ono ali mujja ne yageza ku discoveringa kikyali, you know. Today nogezaako sales and marketing, you know. Today tomorrow nogezaako okubanga ate oli mu kuzimba buyumba, the next day you're trying to do charity work. Inside you waliwo ekimunda mu gwe ekigamba nti try to find who you are.
Gezaako kino.
Yeah, some people get to find their purpose later and they're like, you know what, I don't think my job is to do this, my purpose is to do this. So nali mu phase. So the media mataala gano, once this defines you, you want to be defined by that. Oyo muyimbi, oyo kino, oyo you know.
That's why tubulira na ku subject matter ndala.
People don't think you can even change. So that's why these lights, camera, you know, is hard, you know. Ekirala nti you see, I'm going to say so many bad things about the media.
It's okay.
The media, banyini media, they should do a lot to protect the employees. Mu bintu bye twogera kumpewo.
Okay.
You see, we can say so many things okwentertaining abatulaba. But if no statement ezigenda kusangulwa byonna byenjogera ngenda sigalawo nga biwulirwa. Ne bwe ndi banfudde bali bizanya. And that affects the way people perceive me ngeri gye bandabamu. Oba you get the point. Yeah. So also I didn't want to say things that I would look back and I'm like, hey, hold on. Nze nakyogera. Because by then maybe I was trying to entertain people. So there is a lot. And I felt like
talking about media and footprint eya mawulire oba amasimu getulina mu jani eno ntera nnyo okulaba nga you've recorded a video of yourself talking about the business that you do. You've recorded a video of talking about the fun that you're selling. You sell fun and self-improvement and things like that. How have you been comfortable doing that, knowing that, okay, kati saawa eno ndi fun guy, ndi coach wa self-discovery and development. Are you comfortable with it now? Okuba nti osobola okikola in a longevity kind of thing ate nga weekiri ku media.
Okay, so let me correcting Mbulungi. I'm not a coach. I'm not a fun expert. Okay?
But you've been these things.
Yes. Now, nga bwe gambye nti bwe nva ku radio I wanted now to discover who exactly I am. And the business gye nkola Vector Events, what we were selling mostly was selling fun and interactive entertainment. Nontegedde bulungi. So because the business yali etunda fun and interactive entertainment, I became the spokesperson wa business yange. Yes, nga njagala okwagaza abantu product yaffe, which was fun and interactive entertainment. But as we were selling fun and interactive entertainment, one of the services we're offering was team buildings. And sometimes we could get called to coach other people. So that happened. But in the same journey, I was also running my own self-improvement journey. So this is what would happen. Ngazija ku mutimbagano. Nengamba abantu, I'm going through this self-improvement journey bino byenjize. Bw'onookola ABCD, you're going to move from step A to step B. Abagala okwezuula mukole kino because nali mbiyitamu. Nali ngezako kuzuula papasi yange. Then in this journey, I begin now getting clear image of who I am. Right now, if you asked me chiche mpulira comfortable kola, I will explain this is how I define myself. Okay? First of all, I'm a marketer because binasoma professionally, by the way. Okay? I did marketing and I love it. Tibwemba nsoma ebintu 10. Chinana is around marketing and sales.
Okay.
Then 2, I love business. I've started quite a number. Vector Events was one of them. And I also realized I opened the shoe cleaning business. The 2 branches in Munyonyo and Muyenga. Okay? So I love business. And thirdly, what I call my calling and my purpose. I like helping other people become better versions of themselves. But now discovering this about myself has taken me time.
Takes a journey.
What is your purpose? My purpose in life, my legacy, I would want to leave a legacy and say every time he spoke, he helped people become better versions of themselves. Professionally, I would want to become a very great marketer, a great salesman, a great negotiator, and then a good businessman. That's what. Now, bwe mala okudefining ebyo later, I'm like, okay. Now, when I go back on the internet, what do I want people to see me as?
You reference internet a lot. Ebintu ebisingira ddala obungi ekitegeeza wabiyigira ku internet.
Because right now, bino bigenda teekebwa ku mutimbagano. This video is going to be put on the internet. And I've told you the internet is the greatest asset that has ever happened to the African population. Butetuna kimanya bumanya abafirika, but it is the greatest asset. You can become whatever you want to become through this. Otis, you just woke up and said, I'm going to be the life surgeon. Did anybody ask you?
No one asked you.
Nobody has questioned that. You can either be it or not be it. And they will take it. You can call yourself doctor. Today.
Dr. Jose Chameleon.
And nobody will question it. It is you just to walk that path. And the internet today, even an idiot can sound intelligent today. So nze ndowooza it is the greatest thing ekyaki tutuuseeko okitegeera today. So ngikozesa nnyo era ngikubiriza nnyo abantu.
Era ogiyigirako nnyo.
It is my biggest teacher.
So through the businesses z'okola zino zonna, where is Arthur the Vaccine right now? Because you are confident in where you are right now.
Yes. Right now I'm a bit aware of who I am.
How are you now? Because wava ku Galaxy, Ogambye, you are struggling in certain points. Did you now find family? Did you now find balance more businesses over those and things like that?
So when Peter mujane y'okwezuula n'okwediscovering myself in personal growth, I learned a lot about myself. Manyi byenjagala ne byesaagala. Sinnabimalayo, but at least now I'm aware. Oba kitegeera? I know which interview I want to do, which interview I don't want to do. I know what excites me and what doesn't. And right now I'll say I'm a bit aware and I've improved a lot. Emotionally, psychologically nkyuse, physically nkyuse, nabafingamuko, professionally ngenda netereza, and then n'okuba nti kati sikyakola buli kimu because kati manyi gange wegakola ki wegali like journey ya self-improvement njiza ebintu bingi that I even know what to talk about and what to talk about. Nti newakubadde my purpose is to help other people become better but my purpose may not necessarily help me bring food to the table. Okitegedde? Njagala okikola si kyekigenda okundiisa. Yes. But what we'll do is my profession and maybe my career.
Okay.
And I'm like, the internet, njigambe ki. Do I want to be seen as a guy who helps people become better? And people are like, Bambi, you changed my life. But my life is not changed. That's my mission, right?
Yeah.
Or I come to the people and I tell them, guys, this is what I'm selling. And then they buy, make my life better. And then I also make their lives better. So right now I'm a bit more aware. I have a family. You know, muchala, I have a son.
Okay.
My son is 1 year and a half. Kugamba, things are different. Yeah, and I've tried to be a bit intentional. Yeah, no kweke kwako okuva ku mutimbagano kikuwa chance okuddayo ne weetereza ne weekuba mu torch nga toli ku pressure ya public n'osirikamuuko. Museveni mu lockdown gamba okunama. So you keep quiet, you go back, you reflect, you begin twisting yourself. Ne weetereza
weekuba ku libiti.
Ne weekuba libiti ne ovaako ku social media katono ne weebuuza ebibuuzo by'obulamu omulabi atasobola kubuuza. So I believe the journey has been wonderful and amazing.
You're grateful nti wooli you're comfortable where you are.
I believe I'm a better version of who I was, and that's what self-improvement is all about. Being who you were, being better than who you were yesterday. Being better, even if it is by a millisecond. That's what it's all about.
Fantastic. That is Arthur the vaccine for you. Nkugambi. By the way, I don't know how true this is, Arthur. Naye obeerako onossinkana omuntu ng'akumanyi oba n'omugabo gambye gwe Arthur the vaccine getting wowed by it oba n'akuwa ebizibu n'ayagala bikusomera byonna because akimanyi you did something back in the day and you were great at it. By the way, you were very great at that show. Myaka 8 gyonna gye waliko. I still get calls on the show and someone says, Arthur, njagala kubulya kizibu kyange because you left a footprint on the radio.
Yeah. I think kiri government over time I got to learn it. Probably it's my purpose. Yeah. Probably it's my purpose, and I believe never mambulirira abantu. By the way, I'm very passionate. Even in this interview, you realize I'm doing a lot of preaching. Chindimu munda muzo kwagala okumaking up people better versions
of themselves.
Chindimu, it's my calling. I feel it inside me that I want to leave people better.
Okay.
And I think when I was on radio, I used to do that sometimes. That I would do it with pain, you know, trying to tell people, you know, become a better version of yourself. And I believe it is my calling, it is my purpose. Yeah. But there's something called the Ikigai. The Ikigai is something, it's a Japanese principle. Etuyamba okuzuula bye tulina okuba nitukola. Yagiteeka mu quadrangles nnya. There is what you're good at, what you love doing, what the world needs, and what people are willing to pay for. Okay? You might be good at something, and the world needs it, but nobody is willing to pay for it. That becomes your mission. Nga buli abamissionary babuulira enjiri era ensi ekyalo teri basasula. Then there is that thing you do, yeah, you're good at it, and people are willing to pay for it. That becomes your profession. Omusirikale aba mulungi mu kyo si ndi akyagala nnyo, but kyekimusasuza becomes your profession. Then ne mbaamu ebyo nga okyagala, you love it so much, you're passionate about it, maybe you're good at it, but you can't even get paid for it. It becomes a passion. Nti omuntu ali passionate ku mupiira naye nga ali myaka 35 nobody's gonna pay you for this. You love it, it's your passion. Yes, please leave it and maybe turn it into a profession. Abantu bangi bali moyo loop. I love music, I love drama, I love this, and you're like, but that thing you love is not getting you paid. So even later I realized what I love and what gets me paid are two different things. Kyenjagala nekinsasuza byanjawulo. So right now kyenjagala nkimanyi naye ekinsasuza kirala. So when I come to the public, I come with what gets me paid.
Kwegamba kulembeza nnyo ekikusasuza.
because at the end of it, they have bread to buy at home.
You know, man, feeding.
I won't take a change of Gerako. So the journey has been quite amazing, but also people kati abansanga abamu babeera shocked nga bw'obadde obuuza ekibuuzo nti yegwe Arthur the vaccine n'omugamba ye n'omulaba ng'ali amaze n'olaba abamu nga bali hapo okulaba abamu baagala kyegambye nti ku media eba yakusiiga ekifaananyi kiri
nga tokufaanana na ddoboozi
ye tokyuka, like people think I'm still that guy, but we've moved on. Ngenda kukozesa ekifaananyi example y'abantu bemanyi mu eno industry. Roger Mugisha was a very good guy ku radio back then.
Yeah.
And people still think he's the Shadow Angels guy. They think, you know,
buli omulaba
ekifaananyi ekijja. But he has moved on from that. He has become something different. And I believe you're going to face the same challenges. But also government, you know what? I think I want to move on in career. And it will be hard for you to convince people. That's why all cameras, you know, zintawanya nnyo because of that. Because nkimanyi nkyali mu lugendo lw'oku experimenting who I am. And there's a lot for us to do, but I don't want to be defined. No.
Well, that is Arthur the vaccine for you. He has done a lot of things. He has been a lot of things, but finally, yeetegedde yeezudde era yeemanyi kikyayagala okubeera na kikyayagala okukola mu nsi eno. Do you know what you want to be? I'll be bringing you more of these stories ku Galaxy TV, and of course you can go and watch us on Galaxy TV, the the YouTube channel, oba sigala ng'olaba Galaxy TV on Sundays 6 p.m. This is the Deep Talk. My name is Roger Otis.
The Deep Talk